a-hole for refusing to let my in-laws live with me.
Dun, dun, dun. Sorry.
Wow.
You say the word in-laws, it just sounds like a psychological thriller.
I know, yeah. So, my wife's parents, a male 68 and female 65, have lost everything due to a failed business they took loans against their house on.
Oh.
They had to declare bankruptcy and are too old to work.
Oh.
So currently they rent a small place. They pay for this using pension checks from the government. Basically nothing and just covers rent. Along with an even split of money from me and my wife and her 3 brothers to cover basic needs like food. Oh God, that's like tragic.
Bless them.
I know, to be in retirement.
They can come and live with me. Oh, God. No, I just bless them. That sounds awful. They clearly were trying as well.
My wife and I have done very well for ourselves and live in a house we own, go on vacations every year with our kids, and don't really have any financial issue. Meanwhile, her 3 younger brothers make less than us, some aren't married and all rent. Recently they've come together and said that they shouldn't have to pay since we're better off than them.
Oh, dear.
Wow. Goodness me.
That's again a little bit of entitlement, isn't it?
And we should instead take the in-laws into our home so they don't have to contribute anymore and their government pension will cover the basic needs. Oh, that's nice of you, brothers.
Yes.
Just like, wash your hands.
We've not been as successful as you, so
we shouldn't have to pay, yeah.
So we're off the hook.
I immediately said no and they're all upset with me. My wife told me I should think it over. She's the eldest sibling by 8 years, so I think she feels responsible. However, I said it's not going to happen, and she said I'm acting rude to them. I don't mind them visiting for a weekend and sleeping over, but there's obviously a huge Pandora box of problems.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Waiting if I let them in permanently. I just want to know if I'm being justified in this way of thinking. Seems obvious, but everyone is telling me I'm wrong. Or is there a better way of communicating this to them?
Well, I mean, I don't really know how well he gets on with the in-laws, but you know, living with
people.
When you live in close proximity with anybody, it has its problems.
Unless they had a granny annex.
Well, yeah, if they had that and they had their own separate kind of self-contained area, then it would be okay. But if it's actually, you know, fully bringing them into the house, and not only that, I mean, he sounds a bit ganged up on here by the brothers and his wife. She's caught in the middle. She'd find that as well if they did move in, if there were any disputes. She's going to be pushed and pulled
between a rock and a hard place.
It just sounds like a very unpleasant solution. I don't, you know. I can understand wanting to help.
Just like,
it doesn't sound like they're starving.
No, they're not. Their basic needs are being covered.
Maybe reassess, because they are better off. Maybe the brothers could play a little less, perhaps. I really don't know.
It's open to renegotiation, but I don't think.
But I don't think they should shirk.
Why can't they go and live with one of the brothers, and then the contribution from the better off couple goes and helps?
Well, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Just because that couple are better off doesn't mean they have to go live with them.
No, and they've got a family to look after and support. And I mean, if the other brothers are, you know, well, it said that they're not all married.
They're not all married. They're all renting, but that's not necessarily a deal breaker. It means that they can't go and live with them.
No, unless they've genuinely not got the room.
Yeah, but
I just don't know. I mean, I would really, really, really want to help, but at the same time, you can't help somebody to the detriment. I mean, this is another thing. Like, you know, we used to all live, you know, big families together. We've come away from that. That's lost now. So to expect it in this day and age is a bit... I mean, it's sad that it's gone.
It is sad.
It's also got its positives.
But it's also sad that a state pension doesn't cover your needs.
Well, absolutely.
When you've worked all your life and paid into the system.
Well, I mean, we're only assuming that that's what they've done. I know they did try and start a business, but leading up to that...
I assume they have.
And I mean... When they were taking loans against the house, were they discussing it all with the family members
Probably
to
not,
see if it was a good idea? And actually, you know, because they could have done, it could have been really silly.
It could have been a very silly business venture. We don't know, do they?
You know, but I mean, they've clearly still got their independence. I mean, they say they're too old to work. Age is irrelevant. If they're fit enough to work, then they could still work. Potentially. Yeah. I mean, am I wrong for saying that?
No, I don't think so.
If they're struggling, like, you know, maybe a little part-time job or something. Just a few hours. I mean, I know people past retirement age that still work.
There's plenty. There's a few at our place.
So, yeah, I just, I don't know.
Let's go to the comments.
I don't think he's the a-hole at all. I don't think it's as cut and dry as that.
No, definitely not. Right, not the a-hole. They all voted you should take over everything. That was easy for them.
Well, exactly. Shirk responsibility.
Yeah. How about in-laws live with one of the other siblings in lieu of their contribution and you send your contribution to them? How about the in-laws get part-time jobs to supplement their pension? Unless they have significant health issues, they are not too old to work.
Yeah.
It's kind of you to have pitched in as much as you have. Stop while you're ahead.
Yeah.
And OP's actually replied to that saying, needed to hear this. Got too angry too fast, but this sums up how I feel. I'm going to sit down with my wife and talk this through using the points you used, but I'm sticking to my guns on this and I'm pretty sure she'll take my side.
But it's horrible that's what it comes down to. We've got to take sides. It's...
Yeah. And someone's replied saying, you got this, dude.
Yay.
Stick to your guns. I'm a living example of what happens when you don't.
Oh.
My mother-in-law was only supposed to move in, but being the stable ones with a bunch of unmotivated, jobless in-laws, I was guilted into helping more than just my mother-in-law, who deserves it and spent much of her life supporting deadbeats. Oh. Some people are too altruistic for their own good.
I know.
Well, she brought a couple of deadbeats with her because I didn't stand my ground. I'm now 3 months deep into letting my mother-in-law, 40-year-old jobless sister-in-law, and 19-year-old jobless nephew-in-law live in our house. It's been hell and I have no idea how I'll get rid of them. Oh my God.
Yeah, if that's anything to go by, don't do it.
Don't do it. Wow.
Well, this is sometimes like you have to say no, and it's hard sometimes because I like to help people, I really do. But you can't, I mean, you could jeopardise his marriage, the family could break. You just don't know, do you? It could all end in tears. So yeah, I just think I would stick to my guns.
Yeah, someone's put, not the a-hole, they'll be living with you for at least a decade, if not 2 to 3 more. Love how they voted like they have a say in your finances.
I know.
Yeah.
That's...
And OP's replied, yeah, this is what made me furious. No idea why they thought this was going to fly.
Well, it's, you know...
Well, this is the brothers just basically saying, oh, well, you're better off than us, so we shouldn't have to pay for our parents. It's bullshit.
It is, really.
Yeah. And, caregiving is a major responsibility that indefinitely affects everyone's lives. Absolutely. You, your wife, and your children. Sure, your in-laws may seem to live independently now, but that will wear away with age, and faster than you think.
Yeah.
Assuming that they will live full, healthy lives, you'll be stuck with them under your roof for at least another 15 years or more, taking care of all their needs. As a caregiver of my mother-in-law, my wife and I have to increasingly devote time to her as she's getting physically and mentally weaker, which takes time away from what we spend with each other and our kids while they're still young.
Yeah.
And now her and my wife fight all the time because they have no personal space anymore. It's one of the biggest mistakes we ever made. Respectfully, fight this as much as you can. Oh,
very good advice. Constructive.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, it changes the whole dynamic of a household. And like we said, you know, living in close proximity with your nearest and dearest, because, I mean, they're his in-laws. They're not his nearest and dearest. You know, his wife and kids are. And it does change the whole dynamic, and it's hard living with people that you love.
It is.
So when it's people that you love less than the people that you're already living with.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, most people don't love their in-laws. Some people are fortunate and have wonderful in-laws.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I'm lucky. I get on very well with Tom's dad and stepmom. Very lucky. And he gets on really well with my parents. So
yeah, that's fortunate.
Yeah, it's very fortunate.
But would you want to live with them?
No. No. It's lovely when they visit. It's lovely when they go.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? It's the same when you have anyone coming to your home.
Absolutely, you know? Yeah. Someone's put, not the a-hole, stick to your guns on this. Your in-laws have already shown they do not make good choices.
Well, that's the other point we raised, wasn't it?
As for the other siblings, tell them to pound sand.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Not the a-hole, but I would have an open mind about what other options might work for supporting them. My family grew up in subsidised housing early on, and thankfully my 3 siblings have done okay money-wise. My parents also made financial gambles. Just sharing, as your description of your in-laws resonated with me. Anyway, those of us, my siblings and I, that can send money home, those of us that can't, find ways to help out around the house, etc. At some point, our parents will need to either downsize, have assisted living, etc. Yeah, and OP said, amicable. Yeah, I'd pay for assisted living rather than have them in our home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's annoying me that it's falling on OP and his wife.
Yeah.
To do all of the support. It's not fair.
It's not.
Obviously, the others can contribute because they have been. And now they're exactly. Like, oh, but we shouldn't have to because you have more money. No.
No, because even if they have got more money, they've also got children to support.
Yeah, they're your parents.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
And if you haven't got children to support and you're struggling, then, maybe work a bit more. I don't know. It's hard. But yeah, I don't think he's the a-hole at all.
Yeah, someone's put, why not buy a small apartment and have the siblings still pay an amount to help cover extras? At the end, at least you'll have an apartment you can sell rather than just losing money. And OP said, something I haven't considered, but will be a battle getting her siblings to pay at that point. I can already hear that our money is going towards you, not our parents.
Oh, yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? We're paying for your apartment.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be because they'd be covering the parents' cost of living.
Yeah, well, they're not
paying for the apartment.
They're not going to view it like that, though, are they, by the sounds of it?
But it would be OP and his wife paying for the apartment.
Yeah.
Because it would be, obviously, if they're buying the apartment, it would be in their name, and then they'd be letting the parents live there for a small amount of rent.
Which, they'd have to charge even a nominal rent.
Oh, yeah, because they'll have a mortgage to pay.
Yeah.
But that, you can let family live without making a profit, But they need to sit down, all of them, and have an actual discussion about it rather than just, well, you can pay for everything because you make more money. There are other things.
Definitely. But yeah. Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah. Not the a-hole. I wouldn't want to live with my in-laws either.
No, definitely not the a-hole.
Good luck, OP.
Good luck.
Thanks for joining us today.
Take care.
See you soon.